Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary.
Yeah, with Want some candy?
Hello, Candy Killers. We're here with another episode of Monster Candy Podcast. We're coming at you with a very, very special guest. While Shotzi Blackheart has turned heel and is taking over the WWE, and Dominic is out there being Dominic, we're bringing in someone very, very special. You might know him as Bulk Brogan. He's also a member of Mills and the Pale-Faced Players. Money Mills?
Money Mills!
Oh, shit. And he was the associate producer of the new blockbuster documentary, This Is Guar. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Joshua Mills.
Yeah.
Yay! What is up, Candy Killers? I am your host, one of the hosts, Screamin' E from the Memphis Murder Men. And with me, as always, is the other most awesome host, Oobzilla, Oubliette Sparks, the world's greatest keyboardist from the band Tsunami Bomb, which is also the band Dominic's from.
Who?
But he's not here, so we're not going to talk about him. It's all about Oobzilla.
Yep, it's all about Money Mills today.
It is.
Man, that's what's up.
A lot of pressure, brother.
Saying, I think I can rise to the occasion.
Me too. I'm just happy that for once I'm not the only black guy on this podcast.
Hey. Well, it's always room
He's
for
a
more.
half-C.
I'm saying, is that really even a thing anymore?
No, it's not.
I thought the one dropper one went away, but it came back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
People started marching. I'm saying, so I'm representing this to the fullest.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Hell yeah. So this episode is going to be a little different than what we normally do.
It is.
Oubliette,
and it's exciting.
Fill them in.
So we've been thinking about different things we can do, much like caged, but not caged.
Not caged.
So, not
Okay.
caged, but there will be more caged. Caged
Yes.
is on the way.
Because he's just, man,
he's everywhere.
What isn't he doing?
Where is he not?
He's
there will be more
probably in your fucking closet being
he
weird.
did with Dom's laptop. That he still hasn't given back. But yeah, we have to take breaks between cages.
Yeah.
But we also need format to offer us guidance sometimes. It's not just talking about a movie. So we decided that we are going to start talking about some reboots and originals and remakes and kind of, just about them. What we like about them. If
Hit them against each other to the death.
Yeah, it's going to be like a Battle Royale of movies. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen because we've come up with a pretty awesome list and there's actually some pretty good remake/reboot contenders in there. We were trying to just not pick the suckfest ones that keep coming out.
But there are some of those in there.
Oh, there's some suckfest. Yeah, there's some doozies. I mean, there has to be. You got to shake it up. You can't just have all
like the Cars said, shake it up.
Yeah, and I have my most prized new possession with me that I'm so excited about. For those of you who don't know, my mall from Pensacola, Florida, came to visit me. So I took her to go see a Broadway show. She had never been, and she was a seamstress growing up. And of all things that COVID has caused, my new favorite is at Broadway shows. Well, it sucks. You can't drink inside anymore, like in the theater, or in the seated area, but you can during intermission and before and after. And what they do is they give you these giant sippy cups with lids of wine. It's crazy. So I got a
Gotta
bunch
love
of
that.
them. Yeah, and the best part was, so when I got this before the show, they're like, "Do you want a single, double, or triple?" Which, I mean, they're speaking my language. And then they told me I get to keep the cup no matter what I get. But if I want a drink during intermission, that I could pay for it then, single, double, or triple, and that it would be waiting for me with my name on it. And I shit you not, I walked out during the intermission, and there was just another little sippy cup that said Boobzilla on it. And so I sent my mom all home with one, even though she doesn't drink alcohol. She can have her sweet tea in her sippy cup. But
Sweet
now
tea
I've got
is fucking delicious, by the way.
Oh, it is.
So
but now
good.
I've got my own that I get to keep. That this is all I haven't drinking out of a single wine glass since I brought this home.
I mean, why would you?
I don't spill anymore. And I can sit on the floor while I'm playing video games and stuff on the windowsill. And if my husband walks by and kicks it, it doesn't matter. It's still there.
Fight the neighborhood kids while holding it and not spill anything.
Yeah, totally. It just like rolls down my hardwood floor, but the wine's still in it.
Right.
So everybody go see Wicked on Broadway. Get yourself a sippy cup. Back on track. I guess it's time for
Horror news.
So yeah, I only have one thing for horror news.
What do you got?
I forgot. No. So Hammer Films.
Oh, yeah.
That's
okay.
So they formed the Hammer Studios.
I didn't take notes on this because I knew you were going to do it. Yep.
Right. So they're going to restore a bunch of classic Hammer films, make new ones, and do a bunch of other cool shit. So there's a whole bunch of information on bloodydisgusting.com as usual from John Squires.
They did let the right one in too, right?
Maybe.
I believe. I think.
Hold on, I'll check while you're reading.
I know they did like the UK Dracula stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of the original monsters. But I think they did that one too.
Maybe. But that'll be cool. I mean, Hammer films are not my favorite just because much like with the punk rock, the English horror for me, I'm kind of like, especially back in the 70s and the 60s. I mean, it's cool to look at. Don't get me wrong. But not my fave, not totally my jam, but this is cool anyway because they're good movies and the more horror, the better.
And it looks like they're putting some money behind it and actually trying to kind of continue on a lot of the old ones, which is good.
So
since hopefully it won't be another Invisible Man. Because nobody needs any more of that.
No.
Which one though? 'Cause there was a lot of bad ones.
The newest one.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Mr.
Oh my
Miller?
God, I did.
I mean,
you didn't like it? It was amazing.
I don't think it should be a part of that franchise. And if it's honestly, at least in my experience, it's really not hard in real life to find like crazy psychos who gaslight people. So like the whole movie, I'm just like, okay.
Basically.
Yeah, I know somebody like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's like absolutely nothing shocking in that movie except for somebody who's, invisible.
Aren't we all invisible though to somebody?
Yeah, maybe that's the moral of that story, which I could do without.
Right. So aside from that, it's not really horror news, but while the day we are recording this, where did I go?
Where did you? We are gone. I hear you.
How dare me?
E has disappeared, but he's in our ear.
Zoom is being a fuck right now. By the way. So not horror news, but
if they would like to send us any money, Zoom is the best program, whatever it is, ever thing that people use. So
totally.
Zoom.
Unless they're not going to give us money.
Sponsors.
Then fuck them. But, happy birthday to Boris Karloff.
Oh, that's horror news.
Yeah. It won't be when this comes out, but happy Happy birthday to him, whose last name is actually Pratt. So I wonder if Chris Pratt is related to him. Because we all know Hollywood is just nothing but lizard people.
Lizard people. Yeah.
Wonder.
Possibly. Or
But
what
yeah,
about
that is
that
all
guy
that
Spencer Pratt
Or
from the reality show? He's like a super creep and definitely a lizard person.
right? They're probably all fucking related.
Probably.
Anyway, that's all I got.
So I was looking for horror news today because nothing had been really coming up lately for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit. There's a lot of news out there, but nothing was pumping my nads. So,
like, the stuff has a 30-minute longer director's release.
Yes.
But that isn't the one that I'm going to really talk about because I was excited. Because this one has to do with today and what we're talking about now.
You got my horror news.
Oh, well, Mills, you can horror news it.
No, go ahead. It's all good.
Yeah,
I mean,
way too much.
I may not say what you're saying. I just saw that Bruce Campbell just saw a rough cut of Evil Dead Rise. And previously on another episode, we had talked about just kind of what we knew about it and that it was going to be like in a sort of like cityscape type thing. So they go a little bit more into what it's about. And so it's focusing on the Necronomicon more and how it kind of gets around and like is handed and passed around to people, and people are trying to get rid of it and they can't, which to me kind of sounds like The Ring. But it sounds like they're bringing kind of motherhood and kids into the mix in the flesh possession demon scenario, but it takes place, I guess, in like a basement of a city building. Mostly.
Because that the family dynamic makes it even more horrific, which, I mean, if you have to dismember your child because they're possessed by deadites from the Necronomicon, I mean, it's pretty freaky.
Well, that's what they get for fucking not cleaning their goddamn rooms. You know what
I'm just saying, like,
totally.
I have a lot of children, so I can relate to this. I've got 5 that I actively claim, and my second youngest daughter, who is 2.5, just started describing a past life where she was in the army and got murdered, and they hit her in the head and she died, and she was crying, and she likes to tell everybody about how she used to be in the army and was murdered and died and all that. So if I'm going to have
just another level,
dismember one, it's going to to be that one for sure.
It's so funny. Like the only time
she already
in my
talking
life,
crazy, be like, "Oh, you got to go."
Yeah. No, fuck that. Like the only time in my life I have regretted not having kids is when I hear stories like that, or my friends tell me like I woke up in the middle of the night and my 5-year-old was laying on my chest and just stared at me and said, "I know exactly when you're going to die," and then walk back to bed. Like that would make having kids totally interesting.
Well, I mean, you know,
more worth it.
You're in a band. It's like having kids.
Hey, this is actually, yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of me seeing my band and me seeing you in person too, buddy.
Yeah. This is true. And Holtzfeuer.
Yep, that's true. Although I just saw him on Zoom.
You did.
During an interview. No, not here. Another one. Yeah.
No. I heard all about it.
It didn't go as well as planned. Apparently Arno Core doesn't know what word association is. But it was fun.
Well, you just always have to make sure it's
I was proud of myself.
With Arno Core.
It was.
Was it?
It was.
Was it? I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't say. But I'll take your word for it.
We can talk about this another time.
All right.
Yes, it was. So, has anything chapped your hide before we talk about the movie?
I mean,
because I get excited about this now. I want to know what chaps your hide.
What doesn't fucking chap my hide?
True, you complain about like everything.
I mean, considering the movies we're going to talk about, The Evil Dead versus the remake or reboot or fucking whatever you want to call it. We did an episode on the remake, and that definitely chapped my hide. and as I watched it again, nothing's changed.
Really?
So, yeah.
Do they have a video game coming out also?
Yeah,
they do. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I recently saw Bruce Campbell did a drive-in movie tour, and I had actually never been to a drive-in movie, so my first one was him.
I still can't believe that.
And you're not pregnant right now?
No.
Then
I'm
you didn't
not.
go to the right kind of drive-in.
Not pregnant, but we got to watch Bruce Campbell do some comedy, and they
Just as
played
good.
Evil Dead. Yeah, I mean, he might have verbally impregnated me. I can't tell. It hasn't been 9 months yet, so
Nice.
maybe I am. Maybe it's not the winter pounds that I'm packing on. Perhaps somehow he spews semen out of his mouth. I don't know.
It's all that chin.
Jesus.
It is. But yeah, no, there was no banging on the drive-in. There was like a whole bunch of nerds there. I mean, horror fans, nerds everywhere, and nobody was even like in their car. And when he came out, this girl started crying, and they did like a Q&A, and it was a thing, and there was like a lot of tears, and a lot of people have like full body Evil Dead tattoos, or like really intricate Ash costumes, and like it was impressive.
I will
this
give it
was
to
like out in the middle of nowhere.
I will give it to Bruce Campbell. He's really good live, like seeing him talk to the audience and you know, doing that whole thing. It's real entertaining because we saw him down at Monsterpalooza. So.
Yeah, like he is exactly what you would think he would be. And it's funny because when they talk about why he was the one who acted in the movies, because he grew up with Sam Raimi in the same like group in high school, and a lot of them ended up were behind the scenes, which Bruce was too in a lot of the shooting stuff in those first movies, but they all pushed him to kind of be the star act because he was always kind of the mouth and the ladies' man. So it was like a natural progression, and you can tell that he's still exactly that same way. And he was flirting with I think he flirted with like a 6-year-old that asked him a question to like an 80-year-old. It's just him.
Yeah, just fucking slinging that dick around to everybody. Verbal dick.
But yeah, verbal dick, because it was funny. A couple of people got like a little close, and he was not good with that. It was actually the Keep Your Distance tour, and he made that real clear.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, let's talk about the movies.
All right, so guys, that was.
Why did you pick this? Oh no, we finished horror news already.
No, we have to fucking give it a little time.
So sound bite. Okay.
See.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's the end of
horror news.
Bloop, 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 bloop. There we go. All right, so let's get into it. The Evil Dead.
Yeah.
The OG.
So Mills picked these. Why'd you pick this?
Well,
put you on the spot.
Little known fact, I hail from the great state of Michigan.
Oh.
And Sam Raimi and crew are from Michigan. This is like a Michigan classic. And anytime that you can see somebody wearing a Michigan State shirt get murdered violently, I'm a huge fan. So that's why I picked it.
That's a great reason.
I love Detroit style pizza.
Yeah, as long as it's not Little Caesars.
Oh yeah. No.
Dude, no, Detroit pizza.
Like for real.
So it's funny, like before we do these, I do just looking for random facts and different stuff. And one thing that I found out that kind of like goes through, I guess, a lot of different movies that I never knew. Did you guys know the thing about using different color blood?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that if you vary the color of blood in movies, you won't get as high of a or like as bad of a rating. Yeah. So like they said that they used the same tactic they did at the end scene of Taxi Driver.
Right.
And they used all different colors of blood thinking it wouldn't get a rating. And I guess
that's for Evil Dead 2 though, right?
Yeah, and I guess that it actually like still got an X rating, I think, and so they've released it not rated.
Yes.
But I didn't know that. I mean, I guess it makes sense because if it's like a lot of different colors, it looks less real. I don't know.
Well, they used like white, like stuff coming out of the mouths and black stuff and there's any color of stuff to just add to them.
Oh, so it wasn't just like different shades of red.
They do that too, but they did everything to try and
yeah, no, definitely
kind of appease.
That and then the other surprising one was that the original or the Evil Dead 2, they only used between 300 and 400 gallons of blood, and in the 2013 movie they used 70,000 gallons of blood.
It's a lot of blood.
That's a lot of blood. That's like more than a swimming pool, yeah? I don't know.
That's a lot.
How many gallons does a swimming pool have? A lot, right? I know 70,000 gallons isn't like an ocean, but it's like a good sized pool, I think.
Yeah. I mean, probably. I'm going to say yes. It's a lot of fucking blood.
I'm envisioning 70,000 gallons of milk right now and what I could fit that in. And 70,000 is just one of those weird numbers. I can't place that size, just off the top of my head. But it seems like a good.
I mean, 70,000 jugs of milk.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fucking. Just to think about it, that's a lot of blood.
So another interesting thing too is there's a tonal change between Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 kind of got campy for the first time. Like Evil Dead 1 is a little campy, but not necessarily intentionally. And that tonal change has to do with the lawsuit that happened in Europe over the X rating. And actually Sam Raimi and crew won that because they were saying that it was so vulgar that it was like pornography and there was no art or useful representation for that kind of violence in film.
Yeah,
so we had
it
to do
was
this
like
big battle over there, and they actually won. But after dealing with that, they decided to go a more like campy, jokey route.
What is the name? I can't remember it. The UK has a name. It's like not naughty movie, but something silly like that. And Evil Dead was one of the very first ones.
Yeah, it's like the naughties or something silly because British people think that, it's cute to call shit silly.
Yeah, I've been watching the British baking show and now I'm calling everything stodgy just because it's like one of those dumb fucking words. And I just want to, it's great being the boss because I can be like teaching my employees or reprimanding them and throw in a word like stodgy just for shits and giggles for me. And they like, depending on how comfortable they feel talking with me, might not ask me why I said that or what, or just agree and act like they know. And it really, really makes me happy when they pretend like they know what I'm saying, especially when I put it in like a sentence where it makes absolutely no sense. And they're like, yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, it won't happen again. I'm like, exactly.
You are a lizard person.
No, I have fun at work. People like working with me.
It's like your own. It's like your own personal solo. You're like, yes, dance with no butt stuff.
Yeah, no butt stuff, no eating poop, and everybody, makes money, and we give them presents and a nice place to work.
How was I not invited to that one? That's the perfect one for me.
Oh my God, poor Charlie. I was in Brooklyn at a bar while he was watching it. He's like, holy shit, this is dark, because I warned him. And I'm like, what part are you at? And it was like 10 minutes in. And I'm like, oh, Charlie, no. I was like, I'm so sorry for what's about to happen, but we need to stop talking for the rest of the night. This is just going to get
bad. I told him, I was like, dude, you should see a Serbian film. And then after his reaction to that one, I was like, you should not see a Serbian film. You'll never forgive me.
Or he should.
He should. Serbian film, though, I feel like you go in kind of like expecting it. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Salem, because of the art house and how old it was, I feel like it's whatever. Anyways, Evil Dead. There's some weird British name for bad movies, and Evil Dead got one of the first ratings of that. And
Well, they're British, so what the fuck do they know?
Oh, it's funny. And I also didn't know that Stephen King was the one that got Evil Dead 2 funding.
It's called a nasty over there.
That's what it is.
It was
Nasty.
referred to as the number one nasty because it was both a nasty and it was the year's best-selling video release. So
Yes, take that. A lot of nasty motherfuckers over there in England, apparently.
But you have to say it with British. It's a nasty.
It's a nasty. Pip, pip, cheerio. It's a nasty.
I only do British accents when I'm trying to pretend I'm Dom being held by King Kong. Oh, it comes out sometimes. Sometimes I'm British. It's hard. Yeah. So, did you guys, before we start bashing on the new one or whatever we're gonna do to the new one, did you guys? This is another cool thing. And at first, I was reading it and I was like, "This is dumb as shit." But then I read the follow up, and it wasn't as dumb. So they filmed in a cabin in Morristown, Tennessee. And did you guys hear about like the murder story of the cabin?
Oh no, I hadn't heard that.
Oh, cool. So again, this is going to start, and you're going to be like, "This is so dumb," because that's how it started with me. So this cabin was owned by a woman, and she lived there with her daughter.
Here we go. It's a
woman's it's a women's rights story. And they burned their bras, and the rest is history.
Oh my god! Make it
so. It was. That's not what happened. It's okay. They die. So there's a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter, and there was a thunderstorm one night, and the daughter was like, "I'm fucking scared of thunderstorms." So she gets out of bed and thunder's crashing everywhere. And she's like, "Fuck, I'm scared." So she goes to her mom's room, as kids do. And she climbs under the covers to wrap her arms around her mom, and her mom's dead. So then thunder's crashing, and she's like, "I'm really fucking scared of thunder now. Thunder's everywhere. My mom's dead. I got to tell my grandma." So she goes and runs in her grandma's room, crawls into bed with her, and she's dead. So the little girl
did it.
Well, so wait. So the little girl freaks out and runs to the neighboring farm. These people, because they had grown up knowing the family or whatever, ended up adopting her. But allegedly, every time there was a thunderstorm, she'd just like go out in the woods and wander around and like end up back at the cabin. So like when they start shooting there, someone tells this story to Sam Raimi and all of them, and they're just like, "Yeah, whatever." I mean, they're like, "Cool, but whatever." So they had to stop production over and over because they kept running out of money. And then they'd start again once they got money. So one of the days they had gotten back out there and they were starting to shoot. And this dude comes over and is like, "Hey, have you seen this old woman? She looks like this anywhere around here?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, there was a really bad storm last night. And when there's storms, like she roams around here and she might end up here. So like if you see an old woman in the cabin, don't freak out. She's done this for like 50 years. And they were like, "What the fuck is that?" And they talked to the guy, and that was like, it was his family who ended up raising her. So a week after they were done filming, that fucking cabin got struck by lightning and burned to the ground.
Interesting.
It's kind of cool.
But I heard it was like frat partiers that
Struck the cabin and it burned to the ground. I read it on the internet, so it's true.
My spidey senses are tingling. That's a Sam Raimi nod, by the way.
Oobly, I just made that whole fucking thing up.
I didn't. I would have come up with like a way more elaborate story. And there would have been a lot more blood and some like screaming.
Yeah.
Oh, you bastards! Why are you torturing me like this? Why?
And we're back. But you guys won't even know what happened. So
I don't know why you're saying that, but yeah.
So
But
to
yeah.
totally
part of my plan.
to totally rebuff your awesome story, I heard on the interwebs that it was a bunch of Evil Dead fans trespassing, partying at the cabin after the fact, and a fire got started and it accidentally burnt to the ground. That's what I heard from semi-unreliable sources.
Well, I heard it was a meth lab explosion.
It was Tennessee, so
I mean, yeah. I mean, they were talking about because they filmed it in like 1979 in Tennessee. They were like running into hunters throughout the filming. They
Right.
used live rounds in that movie
Yeah.
because they didn't know how to get blanks or something. It's like, that's nice.
I mean, it's what you do. It's what you do back in the 70s. Come on.
that is
Yeah.
accurate,
Right?
I mean,
Good old days.
I mean, that's what you
back
do
when Alec
now.
Baldwin was used to was getting his start.
That's where he
Fucking
got
Alec
his training.
But I feel dirty for that.
Nah, he deserves it. He's a
No,
fucking
that
lazy
was
person.
fine. He definitely drinks adrenochrome,
Definitely.
bathes in it. He has so many like little kids probably in his basement, just bleeding them dry.
Right?
hmm
He is Beetlejuice.
Don't say it anymore, guys. Somebody already said it once. Lock it down.
Lock it down, motherfuckers.
We're
All
not
right.
going through this again.
So let's discuss.
Yeah.
The original versus the remake. Now I
So
don't know, Mills. I don't know what
Before
you
you
felt.
even say that, I'm already pissed off that you called it a remake. I think that this is a movie in the same universe that is not a remake.
I mean, I guess it could be.
But
I
they
don't know.
didn't. They don't specify that, right? And I mean, I could see that, but you gotta if you're gonna call it The Evil Dead, like you should specify whether it's a remake or a continuation of the story.
Really? Because Evil Dead 1 and 2 are the same fucking movie.
But they didn't know what to do, and I think Sam Raimi did that because he couldn't get any other directorial jobs.
No, he couldn't get the rights to the original one, and he wanted
That
to make
too.
Army of Darkness, and so he did that. But you could have changed the fucking name. So, anyways, the first
Yeah, but it's his
trilogy-
movie. You know what I mean?
the first-
It's
I know,
his baby.
Sure, but the first two movies of the trilogy that starred Evil Dead are the same fucking movie. So
Yes.
this one, I don't think actually has to say we're
Which
not
is awesome.
a remake. We're just a fucking continuation or something else in the universe. the
Nah,
whole thing
this
is
was
kind of
Hollywood
whatever anyway.
going, hey, let's it's a reimagining
Yes.
because they like to reimagine things.
See, I think that's why you're pissed. And if you think about it as not that, but just something that happened at that cabin in the same universe with the same book, maybe you'll be less pissed.
But it wasn't even the same book. It was some other, like, it was like a similar book that had the same name, but it wasn't really the same thing. It's, I hate it. I hated
It was a
it.
different
I hated
cabin
it.
too, because this one was in Michigan.
See?
So
And in the 80s.
yeah.
Was this one set in the, what was the newer one set in the
This
80s?
one
Or
was
was it?
this one was set in 81 and the old one was in the 50s, right?
Wait,
I
what?
think they purposefully
Or
not
60s.
didn't date.
No, the original one was modern because the car.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And then Evil Dead 2 was just modern times for whatever, when was it? 80, 85,
81,
80.
right? Or no, 81's the first one.
And
Yeah,
then
85.
the remake was 2013
Yeah.
Mhm. It's not a remake, but yeah.
or whatever it is. It's a bastardization and fucking piggybacking off of something that was already awesome, and they did some other bullshit with it. I don't know. I was not impressed at all with it. And
So
I have to say on my first watching, because I am a big Evil Dead fan, I really didn't like it. Now I watched it back in 2013 and I was like, what the fuck is this? It's not even Evil Dead, it's Evil Dead light at best. But rewatching it now, I think I'm a little bit easier on it. And I think I think the reason why I'm easier on it is because I don't really consider it a sequel. You know, I don't consider
I don't. It's
a
just
reboot. It's just, you know, it's a similar story structure. I mean, they abandoned it afterwards. You know, it's not like they're making a second one. They're not trying to build off of it. They're doing another reimagining, which is coming up.
When we did the episode on it, Dom was being Dom, so he was a little more, you know, gracious, like, you know, more diplomatic about it. Me and Shotzi were not into it, really. See, my whole issue was just reboots in general.
Yeah.
Part of the charm of the first one was that it was like this raw, imperfect, campy fucking horror movie, right? Just super rough, over dramatic and everything, but it, for the time, people were like, oh my God, this fucking movie's disgusting and everything like that. When movies do like reboots and remakes and they get this huge fucking budget, and they just want to do all these things, like it takes all that charm, you know what I mean, away from what made like an original great. Just like with music, at least in my opinion, you get this rough like Sun Studios sound and you're, you know, fucking garage rock, really raw, really kind of lo-fi kind of vibe, and then we're gonna cover this song, we're gonna do this song, and then they just overproduce the fuck out of it, and you're like, well, that's not what that song sound, that's too clean, it's too, hear everything too good. And one of my issues with reboots and remakes and all that, and this is, you know,
but
and then
do you
they
feel that way with Evil Dead 2 versus 1? Because Evil Dead 2 is so much more not refined, but you know,
I felt like that was overproduced too. Because if you look at
and Evil Dead 2 almost makes fun of what Evil Dead originally should have been.
Right. Well, to me, they just went, they're like, all right, there's a little bit of that slapstick in the first one. We're gonna go full on Three Stooges meets some fucking demons for the second one. So it's like, it's just like a different vibe. They're two different movies. You know what I mean?
Totally.
They're the same movie, but different. So things work, but like this remake, and it tried too hard to be like shocking. Like a lot of the dialogue, oh, your fucking sister's sucking cocks in hell, or like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is fucking dumb.
They like you said, overproduced.
I caught that as like a funny throwback, but
I feel like the overproduced was like they had to, instead of letting the horror do its job and be scary, they were trying to like hold your hand and walk you through it. Like they would show like the scene in the book, like the book where it looked like the same thing that was happening. Like, hey, by the way, this is happening because of this page in this book, and kind of like walking you through it instead of letting something be actually horrific. Like,
for sure.
I don't think you need that much direction on why shit's scary.
There was too much story with the remake too. It was like this long, she's a junkie and they're getting her clean, and you know what I mean, just this whole thing. And then but the beginning, it's like, this dad's kid is fucking possessed and all this other witchy voodoo fucking shit, witchcraft, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is a lot.
It's so funny because like I feel the same way as Mills. Like when I first saw it in the theater, I was like, this is not an Evil Dead movie, and I still feel like that. But when I just watched it again, I actually liked it, but only if I didn't think of it as a reboot or Evil Dead. And when I was watching some of it, just because I do really like over the top gore, it was
which it
funny.
had, so I give it that.
Well, and I'm a super fucking wuss. Like, even stuff that shouldn't scare me scares me. And it was weird because certain parts of it, I was like, if this wasn't called Evil Dead, this would be freaking me out right now. But because it's called Evil Dead, and I know pretty much, what Evil Dead should be, this isn't freaking me out. If they would have fucking called it something else, because it kind of had like a cabin fever feel to it.
Yeah.
Right.
With the demon being more of this like disease kind of, feeling.
It was,
if this wouldn't have been Evil Dead, like I feel like this movie had legs to stand on, because like, I mean, when she's like cutting her fucking face up the side, and just a couple of the things like, and I actually liked the amount of camp it had for the gore it did, which I know they were trying to throw that into try to connect the Evil Dead, but it was weird because what I just saw, I felt like if it didn't have that name and it came out in the theater today or whatever on Shudder and I saw it, it would be better than a lot of stuff I've been watching.
100%. And that's the thing. Like if you grew up never even knowing there was the Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2 or Army Doctor, like you had no idea who Sam Raimi was, what he fucking like any of that shit, and you saw that, you'd be like, oh, it's like a crazy possession movie.
Yeah, it's fun.
So it's like, okay, just call it something else because it's not.
And the addiction thing I thought was smart because that's a great thing to kind of make people not believe you, that you would be paranoid and possibly stuck in your own head.
Right. For a movie that's not called
Evil Dead.
You know, because dude, the story with Evil Dead is super simple. All right, this fucking ancient book that unleashes the fucking terrors of the Deadites, and they fucking want to come back and take over the world and possess everyone and do all that. That's it.
I'm also like a really big fan of how the original approach to like how these words got recited. Like you find a creepy ass old book and all this satanic shit in your basement, like dead cats and stuff. The first thing you're gonna do is not read what the book, like out loud passages from that book.
Oh, dude, how cool they were about all the dead cats when the blonde girl's like, we could just move them outside. The smell will be gone in 5 minutes.
It's cool.
And I'm thinking like, did you guys, because most normal college age people I know, if they went in the basement and there was a bunch of dead cats and like a shrine, they would have been like, we're fucking out of, like in the car, we're gone. I'd stick around a little bit out of curiosity, but then I'd probably get the fuck out of there.
I mean, the original had a bit of that too, like, you know, sticking around for crazy shit for way too long before freaking out. But I like the whole, hey, we found this old tape recorder and I push play and that motherfucker already had the shit on there, because that's something that's like actually kind of believable. They're like, okay, what's this weird old stuff?
Like, what is this?
And you accidentally, you know,
unleash something
up into having it, you know, come around instead of just, oh boy, just let me just
these motherfuckers were willingly like,
he was like etching something to get it too.
And then I'm gonna read it and oh shit. Yeah.
Not only read it, but I'm gonna say it like 4 times.
Right. Like, I'm gonna say everything it says not to fucking say.
It's not a word that makes sense, so I'm gonna keep repeating it out loud because that seems normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird too. Like I almost feel like I know this director wanted to make nods to those movies, but I actually really think they could have called almost this exact movie something different and kept certain parts, like the girl who was possessed and, you know, coming off of drugs, like her coming out of the basement and like peeking through.
Right.
Like that could have happened as a nod to Evil Dead, and horror fans have been like, oh, they're totally nodding to Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's like you didn't have to call it Evil Dead.
Well, see, and that's part of the problem when it's like, all right, this is like a reboot or a remake, because then they're using all the same shit. Oh, okay, we're gonna cut our fucking hand off. We're gonna use a chainsaw. We're gonna, you know, use some of the same scenes from the first, you know, from the original one, like when she's in the basement, she peeks up and stuff like that. And it's just like, you know what chaps my ass, Oubliette?
I know, I do.
This shit. Just make a new fucking movie. Just make a new one, and you could throw a little fucking, you know, you could pay homage to shit and put a little thing here and there. Just make a new movie.
I'll stand by this though. Even when I saw it in the theater and I was like, this isn't, you know, a remake of Evil Dead, it was still better than I expected it to be. Because I really expected just like a fucking like 90s style pile of shit, which this does have that kind of, the way they look and their dialogue is very much,
it's teenagers.
I Know What You Did Last Summer, you know, Final Destination sort of shit.
And well, I was thinking about this,
but And even his haircut, the brother's haircut,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's straight, I
But
mean,
they
come on,
also
man,
couldn't have gotten
2013.
a more marshmallow of a guy to be
Right.
the brother. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Zero charisma.
I know.
Dude, that's the thing. Like back,
He was listening to too much Creed, man. Way too much Creed and Silverchair. He didn't know what to do.
well,
He was just trying to be
dude,
sensitive.
people are just built different now, man. I was looking like, all right, go back to Halloween, right? The original one, or just any 80s movie or fucking 70s movie.
Sure.
Fucking, when you were 22, you look like you were 30. When you were 16, you look like you were 25. Because people were just fucking like harder back then. Like they just grew up different. And the more the decades go, people just get soft as fuck. And when you get these like young kids,
But we get taller.
Yeah, but they
Medieval
just
times, everybody was like 4'11".
right.
So we got that.
But they just act like young kids, and it's annoying. Whereas you get these younger kids back in the 70s and 80s playing like a 17, 18-year-old, but they might be 25. But I don't know. They just seem different and act a little different. Where these kids like act like, oh, you grew up soft as fuck, like not really having to worry about anything. And it's fucking annoying. And I hate it. I hated it. So I hated all the kids in there. I'm like, oh, you're fucking annoying. Everything about this movie annoyed me.
No, even the drug addict that like was obviously a hippie chick or whatever stupid necklace or spiritual shit the brother gave her. Then she ripped it up and he was so sad about it. And I'm like, she's coming down off of drugs, dude. You're upset that she broke a necklace? Like, I don't know.
But can we talk about though?
I don't know.
I can't even remember.
We can talk about whatever you want to. What do you want to talk about?
The first time we did it.
You want to? Maybe you should lay down on like a couch, and we can talk about this because I feel like I can sense your elevated heart rate right now.
Yeah,
like,
if this
you're
fucked
mad.
me up again, I watched. I'm like, I had to power through it. Okay, when she gets the fucking Jeep dropped on her hand, okay. We all saw it coming up, got the chainsaw, she's gonna cut it off. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, first thing, why don't you just dig the fucking muddy ass ground out from beneath your hand and pull your whole hand out?
Well, yeah, the ground that people are coming out of in a second that's just like pulled.
Yeah, just and then just squeeze your hand out, which I mean your hand's gonna be fucked anyway, I get it, but you're still gonna have a hand. But instead, she lops it off at the wrist. And then just kind of fucking handles it for like another 5-10 minutes. And she's walking around. You didn't fucking tie it off. You didn't do nothing. You're just bleeding out.
Arterize it, you know.
Yeah. She's just walking off after she, puts the stump in the fucking chainsaw and chainsaws that bitch in half. And then she just saunters off like, oh, it's cool. I'm like, it's not cool because you're bleeding the fuck to death with no hand. I totally forgot about it. And then she's just like yanking it off, just like
She didn't even cut it off. She just yanked it off.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
she just fucking
and it had that
off.
like skin stretchy.
Yeah.
The sinewy fucking
yeah.
And then she just walks off holding it. Like, what?
There's no way her hand wouldn't have came out if she was pulling hard enough to like literally detach her hand. Her hand would have just came out. But yeah.
Okay, but in all fairness, you're comparing it to a movie that had like talking animals on the fucking walls.
Yes.
So yes. So you're gonna give her shit for cutting off her fucking hand or pulling off her hand and putting a chainsaw on it and bleeding a lot. Yet the movie you're defending,
She would have been dead though within like 5 minutes. She would have bled out so fast.
2 and 1. Several people would have died that didn't die.
Those were flesh wounds. This was not. Those were mere flesh wounds that Ash sustained.
Okay.
These movies.
So we can definitely hate one and like one or whatever we want, but when you have a bias like that, it's not really like fair comparison.
It isn't.
Look, I'm not trying to come at you, E. I don't want to upset you because I know you're already upset right now, but I just want to let you know that,
man.
We have millions of people who listen to this and they want like an impartial, honest kind of.
Well, they already knew how I felt about the remake.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, like I said before, when you were talking about it, the gore, I will give it the good gore score. It had some good shit.
I like the storyline too.
It's
If
better
it wasn't
than
called The Evil Dead.
It's better than Evil Dead 2.
I know. Right. I like the premise of like we're going to take our friends to come off of drugs, and it's funny, like this movie would have actually been really good if they went a Dark and the Wicked route with tons of gore.
Which I just watched again, by the way. That's such a good movie.
So good.
It's so good.
Good.
Have you seen it, Mills?
Seen it.
Fuck no, I haven't seen that.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch it.
I'll check it out.
It's really good. The actors are like ex-stage performers, but just the acting is great, and it's scary in the best ways.
It gives you like that Evil Dead feeling where it's like claustrophobic. Like it all happens at a cabin, most of it anyway. And there's only a handful of people around, on a farm. So, and it's creepy as fuck.
It's scary.
Nice. Yeah.
It scared the shit out of me.
Sounds good. I like it.
Especially because I live out in the woods.
In a van.
Without neighbors. No, I live in a fucking house, but I have a couple barns, and there's barns in them. It was just a lot. It was a lot, okay? And everybody online was talking about how scary it was. So then it psyched me up or like pumped me up. So then I'm watching it and it's just loud. There's lots of loud noise. It's just a lot. But it's good. You should watch it. It's amazing. And they're really cool too. They retweet us all the time and respond to our stuff. And
awesome.
They got screwed because of COVID. They were supposed to show it at a bunch of blah 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 film fests, and because COVID they didn't happen, and I feel like if they would have happened it would have gotten a ton more recognition, because it's honestly like
brutal.
It's not just like it's not just like a horror movie, like it's a great movie.
Yeah,
like it's something that I've suggested to people who don't like horror at all. It's like a family kind of drama piece too, and I'm not a drama
it's going to end up being like a cult movie that's actually really fucking good that more people should know about. Like
Definitely.
Not just a campy fucking goofy cult horror movie. Like it's
like really well written,
yeah,
really well acted. It's like it will be one of those transitional movies that people who don't like horror will still watch it, like Rosemary's Baby and shit like that.
Yeah,
because it's just as much of a like psychological thriller too. So there's a lot of so check it out, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to
We're just
Evil
gonna
Dead.
do 10 episodes of that.
Yeah, right.
We love that movie so much.
We do.
But yeah, so the fact of the matter is that but answer me this. If it wasn't called Evil Dead and it was called something else, but it existed in the universe of Evil Dead and still had the same tie-ins and was marketed as something that was in the universe, would you have hated it as much?
Probably not as much.
But it would still chap your hide.
A little bit. Just because I think it was a little bit much. I think it tried a little too hard to be shocking because they built it up so much. Like, oh, we're gonna it's gonna be so scary, and they just went on and on and on about it. When they like I said, with the dialogue and some of the stuff that was going on, I'm like,
I guess I don't know. I liked the over the top that because I felt like that brought the cheesiness factor to it. I mean, it reminded me a lot of Cabin Fever. It reminded me a little bit of The Descent. It reminded me a little bit of Martyrs.
I feel like they just couldn't decide whether they wanted to be an actual like reboot or what they were doing, because if you're gonna have like a handless chainsaw toting character, it should be Ash. Yeah, that chick's name could have been Ashley. I mean,
this new movie is probably gonna have somebody put that fucking chainsaw on.
But you shouldn't, like, if you want to do a reboot, that's fine, but do a reboot. You know what I mean? Like have Ash, even if you're expecting it to be the guy, like you find out the girl's name is actually Ashley and they call her something else at the end, the big twist, whatever. You can still do that if you have to, but like everybody in this world doesn't need to end up with a chainsaw hand, in my opinion. And also,
Nobody's going to compare to Bruce Campbell, though, and I think that they're going to tread really lightly
except
with
Nicolas
anything
Cage.
they do.
That would be would be all right. But they
one can only hope.
They had little nods to it here and there. Like I really liked, the blood going over the light in the tool shed, and then the whole light being red. I mean, that's a really iconic scene from the first one. But I think where they really missed out is the style of camera work that Sam Raimi did is so distinctive. Totally. I mean, that's really,
they started the shaky cam.
Yeah, and also the fast going through the woods, without seeing the monster, all that suspense building, like that whole style is exactly the signature of Evil Dead and Army of Darkness, and
and if you read about it,
and all the other ones, and they all had it, and this movie
had it
really
like one
was super light on, super light once. I was like, I mean, I get it. You don't want to you want to do your own thing, but if you're going to do a reboot or remake or a continuation of the series,
really give it a nod.
It's got to feel like it's in the same universe, and it didn't even feel like it was shot in the same universe. So
yeah,
if it was a completely different horror movie, I would have liked it a whole lot more, because it didn't feel like an Evil Dead movie, because pretty much I think the camera was the main thing for me.
That's it definitely felt like
they tried to nod a couple times, like the quickness through the swamp, but it didn't really it didn't translate the same way.
Wasn't the same. They took all the aspects of what made Evil Dead. Like they can't like all of it, the campiness, the camera work, like everything, kind of took that out and played that down a lot. Which
I mean, in the original, they say that there's scenes where Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi have cameras on a 2x4, and they're like swinging them in the cabin to make certain things, and like the swamp scenes that are zooming in, Bruce Campbell was pushing Sam Raimi on a dinghy. Like
that's the stuff that makes it, you gotta play that up.
Of course. And that's the thing that the people who love about it, because like, to me, and I'm sure to you guys, the first one and even the second one, it's like, I don't want to say heartfelt, but you can tell that, like,
it was a labor of love.
Their baby. These guys worked their asses off to, especially to get to Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 1, like, for what they had and they were working with, and how many times they had to stop and raise money for it. It's crazy. They made that movie.
You heard like all the shit they had to go through for the first one, fucking getting loans crazy. And suckering Sam Raimi's dad, or was it Sam Raimi's dad or Bruce's dad, into giving him a fucking loan, like all this.
A dentist,
gnarly shit.
One of their dentists was like, well, I guess I won't go to Vegas this year, and I'll give you the couple grand I take to Vegas. That was like, I think, the final amount of money they needed to film the last couple scenes. It was like
taking loans out on a house,
no.
If
that's why it's great they got to make 2 and got it funded, because then I felt like they really got to, do what they had wanted to do. But it's like, the original's a piece of work,
Like Mills was saying, if it was a different movie, and if you're gonna have these huge nods, like these really specific nods with the fucking chainsaw, the one hand, and you don't make it some like heroic, campy fucking, all right, I got a chainsaw hand now. It, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just make it a different movie at that point. Like, if you're not really going to play it up, like, oh shit, this is where she gets her chainsaw hand. And when you already have a series, though, but even just a movie that's established, as far as like, dude, there's a specific character. These are specific things that happened in the movie to make that character what he turned into.
Yeah.
And you kind of dance around or just throw like a nod. Like, man, it fucks it up for me personally.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, just make it a different movie and just throw a different sort of nod in it. And you know what I mean? Like, that'll be cool. If it was a different movie, I probably would have liked it better. It was still, if they called it a different movie and didn't necessarily have like the Necronomicon in it, but it was just like some possession movie. It probably would have been one of the better possession movies out of like that fucking run. That it was just like, oh, the possession of fucking Janie Rose or fucking Elizabeth Smart or whatever the fuck it was.
They're all light on gore, but up on the psychological. Yeah.
I'd have been like, all right.
But even then, the psychological was so boring in all those. There was a bad run.
Yeah.
It bummed me out.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of good ones.
Like if they're trying to be psychological and it's not scaring me, then it's not good. You just have to imply something scary and I'm scared.
Okay, so but what about as a remake Evil Dead 2 compared to Evil Dead 1?
See, it's almost apples and oranges. They're two different movies to me.
Yeah.
But those can be two different movies. I see.
They are two different movies, right? But
yeah, I mean, there were circumstances where they had to be two different movies. You know what I mean? They had to make it again because he wanted to set it up. So yeah, I get it. I still like Evil Dead 2 better, just because Ash is
100%.
Yeah, Ash is way less of a bitch in the second one. You know what I mean? In the first one, the more I watch it, the more I'm used to it, so it's not as bad.
Right.
But the second one, it's so much more of like a fantastic movie and hilarious, and he's so good at playing a smart ass character.
Yeah.
That it's all about the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think not only did they have more of a budget and they were able to actually like add stuff to the story they originally wanted to, but didn't have the money to. I think that, like you said, I mean, Bruce Campbell came into his own a lot more and was able to showcase what he could do. And I feel like Sam Raimi did too.
Oh, for sure.
And they used the first one as a huge learning experience. The first one's fucking great and I love it so much, but I love that they were able to do that. And especially with the same team, like now you're seeing, the same movies getting made again and everything else really close together. But you don't see that kind of
the same people
happen very much. Yeah.
Well, and I feel like they really hit their stride because they're all huge, like Three Stooges fans, and like you could tell the slapstick horror is like that's where it's at for them. They really fucking lean into it hard. The first one, I'm sure in 1979, 1980, you know what I mean? That was probably fucking gross. So I get it. But the second one, it's like it seemed like they got more focused, and then we're just like, all right, this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna set up these next two movies, Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. You know what I mean? So
totally.
I feel like the plot and story of Evil Dead 2 could have been written on a napkin though.
Oh, totally. Well, yeah, because they already had a template for it. They're like, all right, we could just some stuff out.
They basically did hey, you guys know exactly what we're gonna do, so we're just gonna do it. Which is kind of cool, but I think as a movie, because I watched that one with my wife, and she's not a horror fan, and she was like, "This isn't even scary." I'm like, "Yeah, I told you it wasn't scary. It's supposed to be, over the top, campy, and it succeeds in that, but." Watching them back, I always had thought that Evil Dead 2 I liked more, but I like Evil Dead the original way more. And the thing is, I think as far as like the execution is definitely better. All the tricks that they do, they just do them better. The makeup is way better in Evil Dead 2, all that kind of stuff. But like you said, it's kind of like that labor of love that they put into it. Because on no budget, the special effects are fucking garbage, but for the money that they had, it's really impressive. And I think the story and the acting and all the setup and stuff that they did in the first one, I mean, that's why it's the fucking classic, and that's why they were able to make a second one, which is just a retelling of the exact same movie. It's just off how strong that first one was. And I feel like the second one was kind of transitionary. Like it's half the camp of Army of Darkness, and I mean, I'm here for it all. Like I like the full camp for sure, and I like the more serious side of the story. from the first one. But Evil Dead 2 for me is just kind of like that middle ground where, I do still really love that movie, but I'm like, I like to go ham. I like to go all the way in. So I like the first one and because it's the purest form of it. And then I like Army of Darkness because it's off the rails, just campy as fuck. So
that makes sense.
yeah.
Like I was always a huge horror fan, but it was funny. I found out about these movies, I think I was 11 or 12, and I was on a work trip with my dad, and he was like shuffling through the hotel TV, and it was the scene with the little Ashes in Army of Darkness. And it's funny because like him and I always watched Three Stooges together and stuff like that and loved it. And it was so weird because he kept it on. I was like, I can't believe he's keeping this on. And we ended up watching it through the end. And then I remember I went back home and was like, Mom, I'm going to go to the video store. And I went and rented Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. And like they had to call her to make sure it was cool. I rented our movies and she gave the okay because I told her I was going. I watched them all back to back. And as like an 11 or 12-year-old, the first one I was like, what? Then the second in Army of Darkness, I was like, yeah, these are great. And it's funny, like as I've gotten older, I have so much more appreciation for the first one. And it was also really cool seeing it like on the big screen at the drive-in. Although the audio was so fucked because it was like one of the old, like 8mm or whatever. And you had to like zone out the weird like sound in the background the whole time. But
yeah, I definitely like it more. The more I've watched it and seen it in the theater, for sure, made me like it a little more. The first one, but it's a little long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that's, and I just hate long movies in general.
Oh,
yeah,
maybe.
the first one's fucking long, dude.
Yeah.
But that was like their first like real movie. So I mean, there's a lot of like shots that could have been way shorter, like reaction shots while you're showing them just like laying there and they're looking like like what are we doing here?
Oh yeah. Like, and again, the more I watch it and the more I see it.
The original was an hour and 20 minutes, guys.
Yeah, but it should have been like an hour.
With what they had going, yeah.
It just really drags towards the end. Like when he's the fireplace scene, like that whole end scene.
Yeah,
it feels like it goes on and on and on. It feels like 2 hours. But
yeah. No, I would agree with that. But I mean, so this whole thing is hard because, the 3 original Evil Dead movies, it's like a legacy. It's something that, people grew up with. It's hard now with the future of Evil Dead, thinking of an Evil Dead without Ash, or without Bruce Campbell, not just without Ash. So it's really weird because this 2013 movie just seems like not only now oddly smacked in the middle of like this lineage, that's still continuing. It's like, I think it was just out of place in general. And I feel like the director had some really good ideas that maybe, elevated the storyline even better than the Evil Deads. I just wish they wouldn't have called it that. I mean, Cabin in the Woods is a great example of a movie that took a million horror tropes but made it its own movie and had plenty of nods to other films. Like, I wish they would have gone that direction, because trying to compete or even reboot something that is so dear to people's hearts, you're getting into like a Star Wars territory. People who love Evil Dead love Evil Dead. And unless you can fucking make Evil Dead, don't make it.
Right.
And don't change it. There's no need to. Like, we love the imperfections. We love the flaws. That's the endearing part of it, is that they put so much of themselves into it, and it still, had some shitty elements.
And get a fucking actor with charisma. I don't care. I have no issues with wanting to do like a chick, whatever. But also, I feel like part of
There
part
was
of
no
what's so
lead.
cool
Yeah.
about Evil Dead is that typically in horror, having a hero doesn't really work. Usually, it's got to be a heroine. It's always like the chick is the the main character,
The final
and
girl, which I guess she
Yeah.
was, but she was kind of not at all
yeah. I mean, she
throughout
But
just
the
Ash
movie.
is like
You know
the
what I mean?
final boy.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
but that's what's cool is like it usually doesn't work,
It's
but
like the
it's
final
because of the
hunky
amount
boy.
of charisma that you have there. I don't care if it's a guy or a girl, whatever lead you have in an Evil Dead movie needs to have some major fucking charisma.
Well, they've got to. It's
Totally.
got to. They got to bring that fucking energy to the
There's
character.
gonna be some swagger.
Like
you know.
you have to. You got to be kind of brazen, wisecracking. At least at this point, like
Right. Like
if
you
they-
can't make a Halloween movie where Mike Myers runs after the people. Like
Right.
that's not Mike Myers. That's not how that character acts. That's
All
not
of a
even a
sudden, it's
Halloween movie. What are we doing?
All of a sudden, it's like 30 Days of Night. He's
Yeah.
10 feet away and then right in your
That's
face.
Mike Myers now. I mean,
I
that's probably
no,
what
I
they're gonna
agree.
do with that
I-
next one.
I can't live in a world with a fast Mike Myers. My
That's what
heart
I'm
can't
saying.
take it.
well,
My
I
little
mean,
heart would break.
like you touched on something, Mills, that we discussed when we did the review of the series, the Evil Dead series, or
Yeah.
Ash versus Evil Dead. The girl, his little sidekicks,
Mhm.
like they had that same energy
For sure.
that he did. So you know what I mean? I can't remember the actress's name, but if she ended up being like the Ash character,
Yeah.
she could pull it off because she was a smart ass and she was, like
Yeah.
a little bad bitch. You know what I mean?
But they didn't even attempt this in the new movie.
Right.
Right.
There,
Like-
there was nobody with charisma at all.
It was like a
and-
teen movie.
Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah,
And
not
then-
one character did you want to relate to. I
No.
mean, the girl coming off of drugs was the only one to kind of, but not really at all. Like, the girl who was a nurse that they tried to make seem like a doctor, like super fucking boring. The
All
blonde
of them
girl,
were.
like I don't even remember why she was there. The
It's like they were all just
long-haired
friends.
blonde guy was just over the top, and then the short-haired kind of blonde guy, I don't like. He died quick, I think. I don't even remember, and I just watched it 2 hours ago.
Well, there was no development. Like they didn't develop those characters at all. They're like, oh, you're
Right.
the nerdy guy that fucking lets everything out, but then
Yeah.
you know everything. You know what I mean? It's just like
He was the only one they kind of developed a little bit, was the nerdy guy, and then the brother and sister. But the rest of them, it was as superficial as the blonde girl going, "Oh, you're the doctor," and the girl going, "No, I'm a nurse." And other than that, that was
oh yeah, there was
Their
an
character
Giving
development.
her as
blonde
good a
girl.
care as she can get in a hospital.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's right.
You
Yeah,
go,
I
girl.
was just like, okay. And then it was so weird too. I mean, I know the brother was kind of out of touch, but he wasn't just like out of touch all of a sudden. It was, yes, okay, so his friends, because they say he hasn't cared for a while, but yet I guess that was his circle of friends, because they are like, he hasn't cared for us, whatever. But they never decided to reach out, like, we gave your sister an intervention and it didn't work. And then, so whatever, they didn't reach out about that, whatever. But then she died,
Yeah.
and she came back to life after ODing, but they didn't think to call him then that he was the asshole who didn't care. Seemed a little weird. And then flash forward to we're out in the fucking rain or whatever, and my sister, who was possessed by a demon, is now possibly not possessed because she's dead, but I stuck some shit into her with some wires, and I'm going to use this old machine to shock her back alive so she won't be possessed anymore. Like,
Well, yeah, it was the part of the rich. Like there was just too much story going on with the ritual to cleanse their soul and bring them back. So you dig the fucking barrier, dig her, do the thing, dig her back up, the burning bush. like all this shit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the fuck? And it didn't even seem like they were brother and sister. Like I got more of like they were like
banging.
exes.
Yeah, totally. No,
Vibe.
that opening scene, that's what it feels like when I was watching it, because I had forgot. I was like, oh, this is some dude who dumped her that like came back to town because she needs help.
I mean, growing up in
I was like,
Michigan,
oh,
I will say that I knew a lot of kissing cousins, so
I mean, you
it's
know,
not
gotta
that
keep it
far
in
of
the
a stretch.
family. It's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of. They definitely had some incestuous vibes going on. That's cool.
Yeah.
but then he gets her back to
Yes.
life and goes in the cabin and gets killed.
Yeah. There's a lot of nonchalant stuff like, oh, I'll be right back. It just
You know what? Actually, maybe I like this movie. Maybe this is like a commentary on millennials.
maybe. It's
And
cool.
maybe
You
that's
just stay here. I'm gonna go back and get the keys.
we've
I'm
got
gonna
the
go
nurse
back into the
doctor
cabin
and-
where all this shit just happened, just to get the keys real quick. And I'm gonna stop to look upon this picture of all of us.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's funny because like I give people like movies like this shit, even like the running upstairs and everything else, and people are like, if you were in that position, you would do the same thing. Like you don't know. And I will say right now, I didn't know fireflies were real. And okay, so I moved to Austin, and basically my roommate and I went partying every night. So we weren't like, outside where there's fireflies and,
Nature.
life other than, yeah, right. So I ended up getting strep throat, and for the first time since we moved there, and I'm like 19 or 20, I stay home and drank a bunch of NyQuil, because that's what you do. You don't like go to the doctor and get antibiotics.
NyQuil.
I think I was on antibiotics.
Take some
actually,
tussin.
and I still was like downing NyQuil. So, anyways, the power ended up going out because there was something happened. So I was smoking cigarettes on my front porch and talking to someone on my cell phone. And all of a sudden I see like a little green light that looks like, ghosts in all the paranormal photos I've seen. And then I see like another one. And I'm like, this is the NyQuil. This is definitely the NyQuil. And I remember talking to my friend, and she's like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean there's green lights? And I'm like, I don't know. So anyways, then all of a sudden there's a bunch of them, and they're flying right towards me. So you would think I would run inside because my back is to my front door and I could just walk right inside my house. And I'm in like pajamas and I think a bra and barefoot. Oh no, I ran like 6 blocks and then called my roommate who was at the bar, and she wouldn't pick up her phone. So then I called the bar and was like, find Jamie, put her on the fucking phone. I need to talk to her. And I'm like screaming out by this gas station. And she's like, wait, what? And I'm like, there are these green lights. They like light up and they disappear. Like there are spirits in this house we just read, like outside of the house we just read. I don't know what the fuck happened, but there's shit going down. And they're like, anyways, she's like, are they slow moving? I'm like, yeah. And she's like you could catch one. And I'm like, I don't know what you mean. Why would I catch one? And she's like, they're lightning bugs. And I'm like, what the fuck is a lightning bug? She's like, a firefly. I'm like, you mean like in the books, in the cartoons? And she's like, yeah, they're real. I was like, the fuck they are. So I'm like barefoot, probably like pupils crazy because the NyQuil, on the phone screaming at her, and like a cop rolls in to the gas station, and I literally look at him and I'm like, are fireflies real? And he's like, ma'am, I need you to come over here. So I told him like the entire story, and he laughed so hard. And like 3 weeks later, I was out on 6th Street drinking and walked by him, and he was with his partner or whatever, and was like, hey, come here, and like made me tell his partner that that was true, and he wasn't fucking lying to him. The point of the story is, I was like, my back was to my front door. I didn't fucking run in my door. I didn't run up the stairs. I fucking ran. I ran away from the lightning bugs.
And you just brought your fucking sister back from the dead.
Right.
She was just underground.
Right. Locked in there. This basement that had like blood smears all over everywhere, and dead cats.
And she's just like chilling on the porch, putting on some boots, like.
And she tells him no. She's like, no, don't go back in. He's like, it'll be fine. It's no big deal.
Wasn't fine. He got some fucking wire cutters in the neck by long-haired Jimmy or whatever.
And I'm sure there was like 1,000 fireflies in there too.
Probably.
Yeah, after that shotgun went off.
And anyone who's listening to this, fireflies are real.
They are real.
They're real.
Birds are not.
No.
Just like the Amish, they're real.
Dinosaurs.
Another thing I didn't was real that I found out.
The Amish are definitely real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they will totally fuck you up if you try to make fun of them, just so you know.
They will.
It's
true.
Dude, I actually have some dude, I have some Mennonite friends that every time I'm in Pennsylvania I visit. I know all about it now.
I grew up around
at one point I didn't.
The Amish, and my wife, when we had got married, went up to Michigan to visit because we live in Houston, and we're driving through the back country to my uncle's house. It's on a dirt road, and there's an Amish buggy in front of her. She's like, "What the fuck is that?" Yeah.
No, the first time I saw the crossing signs with the buggy, I was like, "Look at this fucking funny sign somebody put up," and they're like, "No, there's Amish people everywhere." But yeah, when I lived in Wisconsin, all over the place, but there was a great bakery that was in one of their basements. They made the biggest pretzels you've ever seen. They would just give them to you right out of the oven for $1.
Move barns by hand.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that's where we bought all of our furniture from too.
That's why their goddamn forearms are the size of my fucking head.
Yeah, they're just like building buildings every day, making shit. Because that's what you do when you don't have electricity or.
It's true.
Other stuff.
That and go to Walmart.
Yeah.
They're always in Walmart.
They do every once in a while. We'll go to hospital and get modern medicine.
Yeah.
So no, I worked at
I've parked
indoor
their vans before. I'm like, what are you guys doing here?
I worked at an indoor water park in Wisconsin, and the Mennonites would go there on vacation, and like they wouldn't stay in the hotel rooms. They like had their campers that they would stay in, and it was funny because they would go down the water slides in skirts to their ankles and like, you know, their hair wrapped in the long sleeve, everything. It was just, they would just come out completely fucking drenched, and all I could think of is I had to add like 80 pounds to what they were wearing, but they were all laughing. They were all laughing and having so much fun that I was like, yeah, I guess, I mean, it's the little things, you know, whatever. You sacrifice to have some water slide fun. But we had one of the upside down ones, and multiple times the Mennonites, Amish, and Quakers would get stuck in them because so eventually they stopped laying them in. Like they made a dress code for the upside down one that like shot you through because they wouldn't make it through. They would you would just see them like going back and forth, and there was a little trap door they let them out of. But anyways, yeah.
Goddamn Amish.
It's gonna be the next.
We have the Bruderhof here, and I'm obsessed with them.
What is Bruderhof?
Dude, look it up. I'm thinking about becoming one.
Fuck you, look it up, man.
She's assuming I can spell that. I barely could say it.
We actually have the biggest Bruderhof colony here, but if you read it, it's actually like their mission statement or whatever. You're like, fuck yeah, I'm down with that.
Fighting the forces of evil.
Yeah. But unfortunately, like I really like money, so
yeah.
I don't know.
False god. But anyway, yeah, so let's wrap this thing up.
So how should we do it? Are we doing like a candy corn rating, or are we?
No, I don't think that'll work. I think we just should probably say like which one we think is the better of the two.
3.
And this one's 3.
And are you gonna watch number 4?
And are you gonna play the video game? Yes.
No,
I will.
Well, I mean, for me, yeah, I mean, Evil Dead 2 for sure is my favorite of the Evil Deads. Army of Darkness, though, might be my favorite of all of them, but we won't talk about that.
Damn, we're aligning right now. Weird.
Namesake.
We haven't
Evil
been lately.
Dead. Evil Dead 2 for sure. But yeah, I think the reboot was garbage and should have just been called something else, and it would have been less garbage.
It would have been pretty good. It would have been better than a lot of the stuff we've been watching.
Yeah.
So
I will give you that. So yeah, that's mine. Will be the.
All right, Mel, do you want to go last?
Yes.
Okay. So on my I'm thinking of this as like a graph sort of chart thing, like a flow chart. Just I like visualizing things, guys. Just stop.
Spirit boards.
Oh no, I don't do that. I actually set one
Or
on
vision
fire
boards,
a few
whatever
weeks
the fuck
ago.
they're called.
I lit a vision board on fire about 3 weeks ago because I was
It's
so
bullshit.
fucking sick of these giant post-it notes somebody was posting everywhere. So I just burned them all.
Just
Anyway,
think it. And
nobody
be
was
it.
harmed. Nobody was harmed. Evil Dead 2 is my favorite. Evil Dead 1 makes my heart happy because it's great to see, like you said, such a labor of love and see something with such a fucking low budget that somebody cared about so much that's like transcended fucking 40 years now. Awesome.
Mhm.
Yep. So that's been a while, and people still know what it is, and they're still creating more in the universe. And then, yeah, the reboot or continuation or another movie in the universe is third, and it's disappointing that it wasn't just its own standalone movie because I feel like it would have stood up to some of the ones I like in that kind of genre. And it just goes to show if you're gonna make an Evil Dead movie, your name should be Sam Raimi.
Although he did produce it. So
Yeah.
it still had a stamp.
I said
There was actually a lawsuit because like right before they made that 2013 one, there was another company that claimed that since Sam Raimi said in his book that he would never do an Evil Dead, that they gave up the rights to it. So they started making one and they had to like sue them and get them to stop so they could make that 2013 one.
Interesting.
Which is,
I mean, honestly, I can see why he produced it and he would get behind it. I do like the story, and I do think if you're gonna do a shitty fucking, not, I shouldn't say shitty. I think if you're going to re-envision a storyline, which most of the time we are not fans of, I do think the concept of somebody coming off of drugs was a great way to tell it. It's just hard because this is a slew of movies that everybody just cares so much about that it would be like reimagining, I don't know, fucking whatever. You just don't reimagine something someone cares so much about. Everyone
Stop
cares so much about.
reimagining shit that already happened.
No, but some reimaginings can be cool, but it's like if something has such a cult following that if you're going to reimagine it, it's got to be something that's going to blow people away.
Yeah.
Or just don't try. Like
reimagine something that sucks that nobody likes.
Right.
Because it sucks. Even, it was like, oh, we had a good story, but it just sucks so bad and no one likes it. Reimagine that and make it good.
Yeah.
Right? Make it better.
Yeah.
Okay. So
right. Like maybe reimagine House of 1,000 Corpses.
I'm gonna be controversial with my picks, right?
Oh, shit.
Do it.
Army of Darkness, even though we're not talking about that, is still also, I agree, is my favorite.
Yeah, that's all of our number ones, I think.
And then my number 2 is Evil Dead the original.
completely acceptable.
That's not going to make anybody mad.
Yeah.
Number 3
Okay.
is 2013,
Oh,
the remake. And I'm going to tell you why I put it over Evil Dead 2.
Weird. Now
Evil Dead
those are
2,
fighting words, baby.
yes, is my least favorite because it is also a retelling. It is a reimagining, and I like that because they went campy instead of, they leaned into the campy. But the
Why is Mills pulling an E right now? I just don't like this. Go on.
story for Evil Dead 2 sucked balls. It was so bad. Like that chick flying from
It's
wherever
the
the
same
fuck she was
story.
with the extra pages, and like it was just really, really, really unbelievable. It was like the worst of the worst. Like the storytelling in the first one is awesome. Even storytelling in Army of Darkness like made sense and was cool.
But was it believable? Because you just use the term believable with a flying woman. So is Army of Darkness believable for you?
No, it's all the way campy, and this one was just in the middle.
Okay.
It was full camp, which is
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to believe it, right? Because it's in the past and all this weird shit. And Evil Dead 2, the story just sucked. I like the
He's
effects.
biting off his finger right now, but go on.
Yeah, the cleaning up of the effects and all that. I appreciate that. But I feel like if you were gonna reimagine it, you should just retell the story. Like Ash should have survived the first one and got suckered back into the scenario instead of retelling the same one.
That's what they tried to do, though. But they said that the audience was bummed out on saying that guy wouldn't be dumb enough to bring new people to the same cabin.
Find a different cabin or find a way to, you could write a different way to get him dragged back there. I mean, you could do that. It's not that hard. But they just told the same story with a crappier story. I mean, the effects and everything were better, and I liked the new tone, but the story itself sucked balls. And the effects on the bridge were a travesty. Unforgivable.
Well, and that's why we invite guests on the show. So we can never invite them back again and learn our lesson.
He's like, oh.
We learn our lesson when we invite people like Mills on, and we realize that E and I should just cross streams. Because if you guys haven't been reading the news or delving into politics, you should know that other people's opinions don't actually matter because yours is the only one that matters. You
must agree with us.
Yeah, and you shouldn't be friends with people with other opinions or get to know them or wonder why they have other opinions because they're just wrong.
This is true. This is true. I get what Mills is saying.
I see where he's coming from.
I get what Mills is saying. That's why, like, doing a reboot, like, I almost take
it's a reboot of a reboot
out of the conversation because it's like it's the same movie, but it's a separate movie. Like it's a whole different vibe. Like even Army of Darkness isn't necessarily in the same genre as like the original Evil Dead.
Right.
Totally. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like Evil Dead 2 just out of the three be my favorite, but as far as the reboot, I think they were definitely going more off the first one.
Well, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they were going for like gory and a little more serious,
shocking,
like,
and it's so fucking disgusting and scary.
And honestly, like I would fucking love to see what Evil Dead the original would have been like if they had the budget to make it.
Right.
Because Evil Dead 2 wasn't just, we have money now, we're gonna make the same movie. They learned, I think they wanted to go more comedic. I'm sure that they saw Bruce Campbell's performance in the first one, and that kind of drove them to be like, let's go more campy. Because when you read interviews, they said they were trying to be more serious with that first one than it came out. And it wasn't just that it was low budget. Like Bruce Campbell is a comedic actor.
Right.
And that's all there is to it. So I really wonder if, and would love to see if they had the money, got to do everything the way they wanted, what that original would have been like. And it probably would have been closer to the reboot, way better.
Yeah. I think the effects would have been better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would have made a little more a little bit more sense and been a little bit more cohesive.
But also, like their technical abilities as filmmakers was just so much better in Evil Dead 2, whereas it didn't feel like it dragged. Like you didn't have those long, like I'm trying to loop stuff with a necklace. I mean, so I think everything happens for a reason.
Their mistakes.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason, and I think technically the second one is definitely way better than the first, for sure. It's definitely more watchable for a much larger audience, but I'm kind of a niche guy. I like weird little shithouse films that nobody watches. So,
dude,
I mean, that's why I like that first one.
Well, no, it's like a movie like Meet the Feebles has that same sort of, and it's funny because Peter Jackson credits, Evil Dead for his stuff. Meet the Feebles, like I fucking love, but people I've shown it to are like, this is so fucking drawn out and boring.
Right.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's a rat singing about sodomy and a fucking flying shit, a reporter, like a fucking hit. Like, what do you mean it's boring? And they're like,
Juliet fights them. She's like, what the fuck?
No, I'm just like, what do you mean? But then it's funny because, I have watched it, again and been like, oh, this is really drawn out. And there's parts that are just like, fuck me. But I appreciate that stuff. Even Dead Alive, like,
I love that movie.
Has moments where you're like, okay, why are they even trying to make this a plot? Because it's just like gore, stop, But a lot of those old movies have that, so I think it's great. And I do love the original Evil Dead, but just like, and like I said, the amount of love they put into it. But for me, and watchability now, and what I would watch a million more times, totally Evil Dead 2.
Yeah. Well, I think we could definitely say the original is better than the reboot. We all agree on that.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and if the director of the reboot ever listens to this, which he probably won't,
or will,
because we're awesome. Just make a fucking movie. You're good.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got the ability to make a movie.
He probably has. Watch, he has like crazy blockbusters now.
For sure.
Look that part up. He's listening to this right
I'm sure
now.
He could try again and do really
in the
good.
future, being like, I fucking won so many awards. Like, fuck these people. But I'll look that up later and see what else you did, buddy. But if you haven't done anything, just don't do any more reboots, please.
Right. No. Do not.
Or sequels or whatever the fuck.
But unless he's gonna make the new Halloween movie where Mike Myers is running at everybody, I'm here for that.
Kung Fu Mike Myers. I'm in for that.
It's Halloween Days of Night.
There you go. 30 nights of Halloween.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
I think.
He's the guy who did Don't Breathe.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's the first one's good. Second one I haven't watched yet. Anyways.
Yeah.
Good job.
You go ahead and wrap it up.
All right. Wrap it up. Well,
Cut
Candy
it
Killers. This is Monster Candy Podcast, and we'd like to thank Money Mills for fucking joining us. And as always,
I'm very sad the pale-faced players couldn't be here.
Yeah, right. we gotta get Charlie Bear on. And
although
that's if you want the shit to go off the rails, because me and Charlie together cannot behave ourselves.
That's what we're here
for it. We're here for it.
We need people to make E and I seem more normal.
Yeah. To make us seem like less haters.
Mature.
Immature.
Refined.
Mature.
Debonair. Whatever.
Yeah. But we appreciate you coming on.
We just need some Houston up in here.
Right.
Make us seem a little more
That's
fancy.
Need some Houston. Everybody needs some Houston.
Hey, everybody needs some Houston.
Absolutely.
That's it. But we thank you guys for tuning in. On behalf of myself, Money Mills, Oubliette, Dominic, and Shotzi. Hey, we all appreciate.
Maybe. We don't know.
Yeah,
Shotzi
who knows?
Seems like she's being a real B right now.
Well, she's a B word.
And Dominic's like on a date, probably.
Let that boy get his pee-pee wet. Put me in a hand.
It's getting wet. I think it's getting.
It's getting
wet.
plenty wet.
I think it's fine. I think it's pee-pee is fine. And I think that I feel uncomfortable talking about someone I've known for 30 years of this pee-pee, but whatever.
I mean, you feel weird about talking about your bandmate's pee-pee?
I'll talk about y'all's dicks before I want to talk about Dom's dick. And that is going to be the end of this episode.
That is the perfect way to end this one. All right, motherfuckers. See you later.
Bye.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Want some candy?
Looks that big old storm right square in the eye and he says, "Get away from her, you bitch!"
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Your move, creep.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Want some candy?